All righty, we're going to go in focus today. And today it's about Judge Jeffrey Colbath's quirks. Many of these you haven't seen in what we've shown so far, but oh, they're plentiful. I want to bring in criminal defense attorney David Wolfe with us now. So good to have you with us.
My pleasure. Great to be here.
Thank you. All righty, so this is really unique, and I want to play some sound of the judge. Apparently, he starts off almost every day coming into the courtroom and announcing the word of the day.
The word of the day is desultory. Desultory. Marked by lack of definite plan, regularity, or purpose. A dragged out ordeal of desultory shopping. Not connected with the main subject. Oh, sounds like we can work that into a sentence. Later today.
Sounds like we can work that in a sentence. First of all, as an attorney, if you were sitting there, would you feel compelled to work that into a sentence at some point during your day?
Gee, I don't know. I didn't desulterate for this topic, but you know, I guess I'd try to work it in during my presentation there, probably out of the presence of the jury, or maybe in the presence of the jury so that the judge would know I was doing it, but not humorously.
Sure, sure. Because the jury, we should point out, the jury is not in the courtroom when he does this every morning. And I would think that that's a bit of a delicate dance, considering the fact that this is a pretty serious case. I mean, we've got somebody who's died. How does this kind of thing, though, I mean, how does it set the tone for the day in court with all of you who are there?
Well, it doesn't set the tone. It's kind of like in a boxing match, I guess, when you go to commercial in between the rounds. You know, when we are at war during trial, while the jury is present, when you're arguing an important issue, you know, there is such an intensity that the relief of sarcasm, some sort of humor at a break or at an appropriate moment that's not critical to the case, where it really helps give people the opportunity to laugh and break things up.
Yeah, I don't doubt that you need that. Let's listen to him again here. This happened at some point during the trial. Listen to this.
Michelle, come on up to the podium, please.
I feel like it's The Price is Right.
Except not at all like The Price is Right.
Well, I mean, I guess
There.
there's no prize.
Okay, so clearly a sense of humor from this judge. Do you find that to be pretty necessary in especially cases that are as serious as this? Do you need that, you know, release at some point?
Absolutely, and if you're able to work humor into such a tragic situation and people's lives being on the line with regard to the trial and that sort of thing, I think it demonstrates the judge's intelligence to actually recognize that we are all people, and regardless of what folks are saying for their respective sides, that we have to understand that it's our system, and people ought to be relaxed being at the location.
How does the personality of a judge, then, his personality overall, set the tone for what happens in that courtroom during a trial?
Well, if people think back to O.J., I think Judge Alito, I think it was, let things get away. I think a judge that's in charge, that is clever enough to be able to fit, you know, comments and point things out sarcastically and to really demonstrate his grasp of what's going on and the control of the courtroom is huge. And I think this judge showed that throughout the trial of this case.
Interesting. I want to play one more soundbite from Judge Colbath. This, again, is one of his words of the day. Listen to this one.
The word of the day, sotto voce. Sotto voce. Under the breath, in an undertone,
As in a private matter. Sidebars are conducted sotto voce. Let's bring in our jury.
See, okay, so he's doing outside the presence of the jury. You're chuckling a little bit. This is something that happens right off the top of the day. Do you usually see, if you see, I mean, he's doing this, as I said, without the jury noticing, but do you see glimpses of that part of his personality? Usually, do you see that in most judges throughout the trial, even if they do certain things when the jury's not present?
Absolutely, and it sounds as though with the term sotto voce, that he's using different ways to say something that he knows is going on during the trial of the case. When the prosecutors are talking with each other or defense lawyers, you know, I might lean over and say, you know, the collective knowledge of the judiciary remains constant. It's their number that continues to grow. You know, and to let people know that we feel as though we're in control of the courtroom when obviously he is. So I like it.
And do you like the fact that he's obviously picking parts, he's picking words that could be relevant to that case or to the trial or whatever? I mean, these aren't words you're finding that are just random thrown out there words.
No, sotto voce. You know, I've said under my breath, God, they're killing us. I had a hearing yesterday where I left and I said to my partner, that's getting crushed with style. You know, in other words, we made some great arguments, raised some good legal issues, but at the end of the day, everything fell like a row of dominoes. So I like it. I like him. Sounds pretty nice.
It is a different take, and we just wanted to make sure that our viewers got to see some of that because we don't see a lot of it during the trial itself. So, David Wolfe, thank you so much. David's going to stick around with us as we have a lot more to talk about, not just with this trial, but we have some questions about Sandusky as well yesterday, Jerry.